the combine, Skip, you have no idea the obscene, the obscene size check he'd be willing to write for that Super Bowl title. Sean Payton might be as close to a guarantee as you could get, but you were going to have to concede. You got to step back. You know that. And it's Steven's job now to convince his dad, okay, Dad, we've been doing it this way for almost 25 years, quarter century. And we haven't had success doing it the way that you wanted to do it. Now let's try and go back to the old way, the way that in a 5-year span, we had 3 Super Bowls and we lost in the NFC title game. Let's go back to, let's try that for an extended period of time and see if we can get back to where you and I both think we should be and probably where we should be. That would be what I would be willing to do. Skip, Jerry Jones it's funny how Jerry operates. See, Jerry's under the umbrella. Jerry, when he goes out and does deals with AT&T or Pepsi or whomever, Skip, he's trying to extract the most money possible. But when he wants players or coaches, he's trying to give as little money as possible. I believe those days are over. Paying someone, you know, you're the head coach of the Cowboys. Skip, I don't know why Lincoln Riley would leave. He's making 6.4 at Oklahoma. Why the hell I'm going to leave and take a pay cut? And have to deal with you, Jerry. AD ain't bothering me. You know, the chancellor, president, whatever they call him in college, he's not bothering me. You are going to be bothering me. So that's what I would do, Skip. I would go, I want a proven commodity. Sean Payton is as proven a commodity as you can get.
Fair.
So that's what I would be willing to do. Because I'm thinking that Sean Payton, what's 2 first-round picks if I'm going to be picking somewhere between 29 and 32? Because I believe that's where you'll be picking with Sean Payton. I believe every year it's a foregone conclusion. At worst case scenario, you're going to be playing, barring a major significant injury, you're going to be in the NFC title game. And you're probably going to go further with him. So would it be a bad thing to give up 2 first-round of 2-2, the 11, 12, $15 million? Now, you're going to have to, now that's what you're giving the compensation to New Orleans. You're going to have to make him a higher paid coach than John Gruden. So you're going to be looking at somewhere around $120 million. That's the obscene size check that you're going to have to write, Skip, to get you that Super Bowl, Jerry. So that would be my first choice.
Okay. I love your first choice. I just don't think it's reasonable. I don't think it's realistic. I think it's pie in the sky.
You got to aim big, Skip.
I don't think New Orleans would ever take 2 first-round picks in 2 seconds for Sean Payton, who just signed a new big long-term deal. Why would they do that? They'd say, why would we give Dallas our guy who's proven it? And by the way, I like their chances this year.
Yes.
So if they...
Well, the price might be going up, Skip.
I'm just saying.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I don't know how many firsts you want to give up and mortgage your whole future to get Sean Payton out. There would be a price point where they'd say, okay, if you give us 4 first-rounders, we'll do it. But at what point do you just say you're cutting off your own nose to spite your face?
Well, the Lakers gave up 4 first-rounders to get AD. If you're getting a generational coach for 2, let me ask you a question. Let's just say you gave up 3 first-rounders and $15 million, and Sean Payton won you 2 Super Bowls. Would it be worth it?
Yes, but again, I'm still not sure that would be enough to get him out of New Orleans. And I don't know what Drew Brees' future is. I don't know where Sean's head would be on this, but he has been in the Cowboy system before. He knows what it feels like not to be the head coach, but to work under Jerry Jones.
He was with Parcells.
Yep, he was there. So he knows where the trap doors are, and he knows what the downside would be and how handicapped he might be. And he might also have decided by now he's just really happy with the Saints, and they're a really good team on the rise, except at quarterback. So I don't know how many more years Drew Brees has. I don't know if this is it. If he wins the Super Bowl, then maybe that would...
He tried to wait that time.
I think you're probably right about that. So you brought up Lincoln Riley, so I'm going to start there first. There is no way Jerry Jones should hire Lincoln Riley. It would be a disaster. In fact, I'll go on record right now, and I'm a University of Oklahoma fan born and raised. I would take Jason Garrett over Lincoln Riley right now. I would take Jason Garrett. I don't like anything, any way, shape, or form about how Lincoln Riley oversees the defensive side of the ball, because they have been a disaster on defense all 3 of their playoff-bound years. They overcame the defense just the way, in some ways, Dallas almost overcame its defense, and it would be more of the same. I thought Kellen Moore, and I don't know how much Jason Garrett had to do with it, but I thought Kellen Moore had a pretty good year calling plays. So that's not the problem in Dallas. We don't need Lincoln Riley to call our plays because Kellen Moore's pretty good at that.
Oh, so you want to keep Kellen Moore?
Okay, well, I don't know what the next head coach is going to do, but I'm okay. But what I'm saying is that doesn't need to get fixed.
Okay.
And for Lincoln Riley, think about what happened. He had Baker Mayfield. They lost at home as a 31-point favorite to Iowa State in the year Baker got them to the playoff game. And then they were ahead 31-17 at half, and they wound up against Georgia. Remember that game? And they wound up losing 54-48 because they played no defense. And Georgia just went up and down the field with Sony Michel and Chubb. It was just like a track meet.
Right.
And then what happened to poor Kyler Murray? That was the worst good team defense in the history of college football. And Lincoln presided over, again, you're the head coach, so you preside over that side of the ball. Then this year, they seem to be a little bit improved on defense. Then they go to Kansas State and give up 48 to a team that had managed to score 14 against Oklahoma State and 13 against Baylor. Help me out.
No.
Okay, it's just wrong. And then I had to sit not too many days ago. Yeah, just a few days ago, I had to sit and watch Joe Burrow, who's really good, but he threw 7 touchdown passes in the first half against Lincoln Riley's defense. Again, he's not the coordinator, but he is the head coach.
Sure.
I don't want more of the same in Dallas. You can't sell that to me. Again, I'll take tried and true Jason Garrett's 8-8 over that. So, and then I don't know how Matt Rule is at the top of these lists as the Baylor head coach. It is baffling to me. I don't get it.
I don't either.
He was the assistant offensive line coach for 1 year with the New York Giants.
It was Super Bowl.
Okay, but that was 1 year, and he turned around Temple. Wow. And then he sort of pulled up Baylor out of the scandalous gutter, right?
Right.
And they were ahead 31-10 over my Oklahoma Sooners at home this year and blew it in the second half. Really? They lost the Big 12 championship game to Oklahoma, and you're going to tell me he's the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? Stop it. Which leads me back to a guy who is tried and very true in college football. I've told you from the start, I am a big Urban Meyer fan. He obviously works at this network. Jenny has been around him a lot. I've been around him a little, but I've watched him very closely at Utah and at Florida and at Ohio State. And he was spectacularly successful at all 3 stops. Has he coached one down in pro football? He has not. He just has charisma. He has drive about him. In fact, he drives himself sometimes completely over the edge, and he needs to take a year off. But I would take a sort of refueled Urban Meyer, ready to go in Dallas, and he said on Colin's show, what was it, about a month or so ago, sure, that's one pro job I would have to look at. It is America's team, and he obviously had Ezekiel Elliott at Ohio State, and he says, Dak Prescott and Zeke, I would take that. And somehow Urban, even though he's offensive-oriented play caller, his defenses are always pretty to very good. So he gets that side of the ball. So I would be very intrigued by Urban Meyer, and that would probably be my first choice. I don't know if Urban could bite the Jerry Jones bullet, because you got to bite, you got to swallow it. Is what you have to do.
You ain't biting, you
and
swallow
I don't know. And again, Jenny has said many times he likes to control every little nuance of the program, and Jerry would have to concede a lot. And there's an X factor in that. Could he be Jimmy Johnson, come straight from college to pro football and be a quick success? Could he be a Jim Harbaugh, who came right out of Stanford, and those first 3 years in San Francisco, it was off the charts. They got to the NFC Championship game 3 straight years and got to 1 Super Bowl and should have won that because he switched horses in midstream and went with Colin Kaepernick. And I can't give up the fact that Jim Harbaugh showed me a lot in pro football. So would I have him on my radar? Yes, I would, because obviously Dallas hadn't been to an NFC Championship game in 25 years. And he got to 3 in a row right out of the gate. Okay, that's pretty great. But could Jim Harbaugh get along with Jerry Jones? No, he could not. Zero chance.
No.
They wouldn't even make it through the first interview. I don't think. I mean, you know Jim.
I don't think either. The dynamic, it doesn't.
But guess who my second choice will be? You ain't going to like this.
Uh-oh.
Old guy down there with Tuscaloosa. Old St. Nick.
Seriously?
See, Skip,
But
the reason why...
pretty disastrous at Miami.
Towards the college direction.
But here's the thing. the quarterback. I believe the situation had he got Drew Brees because they flunked Drew Brees. Now, remember, Skip, they signed Dante Culpepper, who was coming off the knee injury.
They did.
So they flunked one, and that changed everything.
Yeah, we're talking about with the Dolphins.
With the Dolphins, right. I believe because I agree with you. I believe Lincoln Riley is a specialty. He's a specialty. So offense is his deal. I don't know if anybody plays defense in the Big 12. I just think they say, everybody, we're just going to outscore everybody we play. We get to 60, hold them to 57, we good.
Yeah, but if you could, listen, you're a cornerstone national program.
Yeah.
Can't you recruit some athletes on defense?
Yeah. But
They're terrible.
The thing is, you can't look.
Doesn't translate.
A Power 5 school should not give up 63 points in a playoff game. That shouldn't happen. A Power 5 school, not 63. So I like Nick Saban. Now, you know he's CEO. See, I think the thing is what you like about Urban Meyer because he's CEO. He can oversee it all.
He can.
You want someone that can oversee it all. Not just, and this is why I stay away from Josh McDaniels. Especially I look at his resume. Yeah. I saw what happened with he and Kyle Lorton in Denver. It was terrible. I saw what happened
when I agree with that. I'm not sold.
And you saw what happened when he was offensive coordinator with Sam Bradford.
I saw it.
And
if you give him Tom Brady, it's great.
Right.
Okay.
So if Dallas, if you want him, you're going to bring Tom Brady along? Yeah. Okay, that might work for a couple of years. But, Skip, they need somebody that has previous head coach experience, that's an overseer, that's CEO. You can't get a guy that, well, he's just good. No. I don't know. I mean, Salah, the guy, the D coordinator at San Francisco.
Yeah.
Okay, bring him in and see, kick the tires and see what that. But I think they're going to probably go tried and true. They're going to go with someone with previous coaching experience.
Okay, I'm going to throw one last name at you to get us to our next topic. Yes, head coach. We're about to talk about what's going to transpire tomorrow night in Foxborough.
Okay.
If the dynasty falls on its face, if that's the end of Brady and Belichick, is there some chance that Belichick might come available depending on how Robert Kraft plays this? Because he's going to have to